What will define a successful NBA draft for your Dallas Mavericks? We dive all into that and more coming up next in the DLLS Mavs podcast. Hey, what's up? It's the DLLS Mavs podcast presented by FanDuel Predicts. Take a position on the spread, total points for the winning team. Follow the action in real time with FanDuel Predicts. Kevin Gray alongside the DLLS Mavs beat writer Ron Harrod Jr., our All-City National NBA reporter.
I just follow.
It was good vibes. It was good vibes.
Yeah. Tim Cato, we are DLLS Mavs, your favorite guys, cover your favorite team, especially when there's only 6 days left until the NBA draft, which makes Tanner very, very happy. What will define a successful NBA draft for your Dallas Mavericks? We dial up the Stein Line special edition with our guest today, Jake Fischer of Bleacher Report. You don't want to miss that coming up at 12:30. Plus, we continue our NBA draft player profiles as well with Hannes Steinbach of Washington on this wonderful Wednesday afternoon. Ron, Ronaldo Jr., what's going on?
Yes, Messi, embarrassed the Ronaldo fan base yesterday.
Woo-hoo!
Hat trick, 3 goals.
Brother,
I'm getting texts from like every group chat.
Ronaldo is gonna take so many shots
why not?
today.
Go for broke. The problem is I don't think he's the best player in his own
or
team.
Is it tomorrow? I think they play tomorrow.
No, they play today.
Yeah, they do.
I think it's today.
Right,
I don't
right,
know.
yeah,
I have to
today.
check with the time. Might be down for all I know. But
Actually, it is. I'm headed to soccer bar right after this.
There you go. Tim Cato, good to see you again. What's going on?
About the same as yesterday.
Yeah. Respect.
Yeah. Shout out to Cato, who just came off the Tim and Tim show with his buddy Tim Legler today on the All NBA podcast. Make sure you check that out as well. You have a good time.
Good show. It was a great show.
Good time with legs.
There was a moment that, and Ron was like, this intro must be short. But I have to tell the story. There was a moment where I shared what I thought was a good point, and it was a good point. And then Legs came in, and he's like, I will take it one step forward.
Oh, okay.
And then just spun it forward. And I told him when he finished his point, I was like, this is what it must feel for your teammates when they just hit you in the corner.
Oh, man.
Cash money every time.
Boom. There you go.
You know, I assisted Tim Legler today. I'm proud of that.
W.
Okay, and now I'm shutting up. Okay, Ron time.
What does your player philosophy tell you about who you would draft in this year's NBA draft? Of course, the Mavericks hold the number 9 and 30 picks in the first round. We'll be live from the Pub McKinney next Tuesday, as we will be live for the very first round of the NBA draft. 2 days of draft picks for you Mavericks, 9 and 30 on Tuesday, number 48 on Wednesday. Will they add more? Will they trade? We'll figure it out. But Ron, help us out here. You found this, and we're going to fill out this survey together. Tell us a little bit about what we're going to be doing here today.
Yeah, so there's this site. It's called the Fifth Factor. It's by Steph Noah, who's been with Sport News for at least over 5 years, maybe longer than that.
Good dude.
Just really, really good work with there.
One time in
really
Vegas,
fun.
we Ubered 20 minutes to a gym where that was supposed to have pickup. This was like 10 years ago. And we got the wrong gym, or it got called off and we weren't told. And so we were just sitting outside of a Vegas gym for like 30 minutes being like, are we going to play? We all had shoes and everything.
Like everyone was...
Steph's a good dude.
But yeah, so he created this with David Lee, who's DLee43 on Twitter. Again, does a lot of good work. I watched a couple of his videos.
Also very good.
Just a really good, like with the... If you're like, analytics, just real pushing NBA knowledge for, which I always find to be really fun and good.
Yeah, especially draft related.
So especially draft related. So they created this thing. You fill out 10 questions and you get what type of draft person you are. So we're gonna fill out on this show, Tanner. Let's go. So this is our first question. And the chat, we would love if you would comment what you think too. And we're gonna probably not take as much long as maybe you all might, but we're gonna get through some of the questions. So KG has glasses, so you can probably see the best of the bunch. I'm not going to see with my contacts, but not as good as if I have my glasses.
I have it up on my computer. I would not be able to see it otherwise. Do you want me to read it, though?
I'm about to say the first question we have, or the first statement that we have is, Bad defensive habits as a prospect aren't a big deal. Agree, neutral, or disagree?
I think I put neutral. I think neutral because I'm like, I guess like Luka or something.
I'd said agree for my own personal one that I did, that bad defensive habits are, as a prospect, aren't a big deal. No. I said disagree. Yeah, I said disagree.
I think I'm closer to disagree than neutral. I have a little bit of wiggle.
Wriggle.
Yeah. I have a little bit of leeway.
Wiggling for you, Tim Cato.
I have a little bit of leeway. Not with Ron right now, but I have a little bit of leeway that in some context I can see it. It's everybody.
It's like Luka, Brunson.
But we've done this so many times where it's like, oh, he'll iron it out at the pros, and these players do. That happens about 1 in 4, 1 in 5 times.
Probably
it feels like
that, yeah.
It might be less than
1 in 5, probably. Yeah.
So I'm fine with neutral or disagree. I don't know who's going to be the arbitrator.
Several in our chat already says neutral.
Let's go with
neutral. The chat.
I think neutral.
Yeah. All right.
Tim, this world, you just can't say things incorrectly anymore. You know.
That's right. That's right.
In this perfect world.
It's like 3 seconds of that being up.
Yeah.
I tweeted something. I just saw Erling Haaland screenshots.
Yeah.
Go to my Twitter. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, we'll do it.
All right. So we went neutral.
He said Ornaldo instead of Orlando.
Oh, wow.
And people came for him for the typo.
It's like,
all right, next statement.
I don't know the name of that city.
I don't mind taking an older prospect as long as the production is there. I personally said agree on this one.
Yeah, which I think fits. I put disagree because I'm just ageist, I guess, on this pod.
Oh, wow.
So I guess I'm the ageist guy.
Being the youngest one on this show.
Yeah.
Right, got it.
Right.
Got it.
So, Kato, you break the tie then.
Again, like this is so case by case. I would say overall, it also depends. Like, where's your team at? You know, like do you need high upside or do you need? I would say, call me a centrist. I'm gonna go neutral again.
Okay, so we all used to have.
So we go neutral because we didn't agree or disagree.
Okay, I've got a couple of agrees in there, so we'll go with
like
agree.
Yaxel is 24, so I can think a 24-year-old prospect.
We should go agree on this one. I'm going to fill my own out. I want to see how they differ.
Okay, so go agree.
Right.
Yeah,
agree on that one.
Yeah.
So the next statement is: give me the guy with top tier athleticism, even if he hasn't figured out how to use it yet.
Hi, Bobby.
Well,
Bobby's
hello,
on a
Bobby.
boat,
He's on a boat.
I'm on a boat.
Respect.
Yeah.
I'm on a boat.
Mother.
I'm clearly.
Yeah.
We are clearly elder millennials here.
Yes, exactly.
Actually, I'm a younger millennial. I'm right on the verge. But
so agree.
I was born 93. I think 95 is when I start Gen Z.
I guess so.
Yeah.
So agree, neutral, or disagree. Give me the guy with top tier athleticism, even if he hasn't figured out how to use it yet.
I think I had disagree because I'm just done with the Kumingas and the Ron Hollands.
Okay.
And like I guess like if you're like Amin Thompson, this is like a 99th percentile athlete. Like even the best athletes like the Ron Hollands, like he's not as good of an athlete as like Asar. You know, like so.
So I would actually. I think the difference I would make here is that Amin Thompson and Asar Thompson had it figured out. It was hard to see because they're playing, you know, like this really weird league. But I think if they were in college, they would have lots of production.
Yeah.
I think we now know that about them. Whereas Ron Holland's production was a little bit lower. That's the difference, is that you're not drafting them because they're super athletes. You're drafting them because they're super athletes that affect the game.
Yeah, at least
so I'm disagreeing on this. Yeah, I'm disagreeing on this.
Athletes with no
basketball IQ at all.
Right.
So a lot of us, we'll go disagree on this one. So a lot of us disagree on that one.
I think the chat's with us on that.
Question 4. Low feel is a deal breaker for me. I said agree on this one. That's a deal breaker for me. You got to have some type of feel. On the
I think they go with our last one with the athleticism. That feels we can. I think Tim, you agree on low feel.
Yeah. I mean, I'm being so annoying about this. I could imagine. So what I wanted to look at is who's the highest draft pick last year, who you would call like a low feel. Jeremiah Fears, I think it's fair to say, is a little bit lower,
maybe
like lower feels.
He was like a year young.
Ace Bailey, I think it's kind of okay to say that. I view feel as like instinctive passing, cutting, IQ, defense. Like,
do you have an idea
rotations.
of what you're doing out there on the floor?
Jaeger, Jimin, I'd say plus. I'd say plus on. So I'd say Jeremiah Fears and Ace Bailey. That's what we're talking. Would you draft them even though they'll, like, for all their tools and their skill and their athleticism, even though the feel isn't as high as everybody drafted around them?
I think I'd still go agree.
I think me personally, I would say like low feel being a deal breaker for me, especially if you're trying to draft, let's say, a point guard. A point guard gotta have some feel for what they're doing on the floor. So that would be a deal breaker for me. So we'll go agree on that one.
Yeah.
All right. So let's get through these a little bit quicker. Question. This is number 5. Number 6. Number 5. Five. Shooting can be taught in the NBA. Agree.
I was neutral. It's somewhat rare, but it's not impossible. So
I'm neutral on it. It can be improved. If you start as a non-shooter, you will never be elite, but you can be a guy who hits corner threes. If you're a guy who can hit corner threes, you could get up to being a guy who takes 6 a game. If you take 6 a game on low percentages, you could be an elite shooter.
Yeah, it's just
so neutral.
It's hard to take a real jump. Like Almond Thompson's never going to be able to shoot threes at any solid level. You know, it'd be insane if that jump happened.
I watched Jalen Brunson and Dorian Finney-Smith become.
Jalen Brunson can shoot, though.
No, Jalen Brunson could not shoot an NBA three-pointer when he got to the league.
But he could shoot, though. Shooting is not just threes.
Yeah, right. I'm just saying,
Thompson cannot shoot the basketball anywhere on the basketball.
But he also leveled out as Dorian Finney-Smith leveled out as the guy defenses look at and say, we're going to stack up you in the corner.
Sure.
Even though we respect your shot, you're still the easy.
Corner. Yeah, it's only the corner. Dorian can't shoot.
So we're going neutral on that one? All right.
I think neutral is fair.
All right. 6, I'd rather have a hard worker who will max out his potential over a better talent with serious focus issues.
I'd agree.
I said agree on this one.
But, like, I'm a DeAndre Ayton, hater, so.
I want the dude. I want the guy that's going to max out everything that he's got in him versus a guy that may have a slightly better talent but can't focus. Because, I mean, there's too many things in the NBA that can distract you from becoming the kind of player that you should be. DeAndre Ayton's a good one in that case.
I think I'm leaning disagree on this one.
Oh, okay.
It's case by case. Maybe I'll go neutral.
He said, give me all the talent. He can't focus worth the damn, but give me all the talent.
Again, it's contextual, but if I'm the Miami Heat, like, they take swings on players like this. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
They got a culture that they believe in, too.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, everybody's spamming agree for this.
Yeah, everybody's hitting the agree with us.
I'm going to go neutral. Let's go agree here.
Let's go agree on that one.
Goodness gracious.
Move on.
7, I would rather have a boom or bust prospect over someone with a high floor but low ceiling. I said disagree on this one.
I don't remember.
I'm agree. I'm 100% agree. Again, it's contextual.
Well, we know who he's drafting. Nate Ament.
No. He's low ceiling, low floor.
Low everything.
Yeah.
I think
you want the boomer bust guy?
This is tough.
Okay, you want the boomer bust guy?
So my argument is that the most important thing in the NBA is getting a star, and you should try to take more lottery tickets at stars. If you have the star, yes, you should be drafting in a different way. But I think more often than not, I want the high upside because that is just the most important thing in basketball.
Okay. Some folks didn't disagree on that one.
I really don't.
32 seconds.
The chat's going to disagree. I'll just go with the chat. I'm probably neutral on that one.
Let's go disagree. Right, I want to see how different ours are.
See what happens.
Some different answers.
8. I'm not wasting.
I'm
not wasting a good lottery pick on a big man.
Disagree.
I'd say disagree because you never know what you might get there. I mean, the Mavericks used a lottery pick to get a big man, and it worked out when he's healthy.
There's a good big man prospect. There's a good big man prospect. I mean, is it rare? Does it happen every year? No, but
I would say disagree on this one.
I'm neutral to agree. Obviously, you draft Wemby, you draft big men, but
Wemby, Chet.
They got to be special big men.
Chet should win number 1 in his draft. It just
So All right.
We'll go disagree.
I'm gonna
disagree.
Go.
All right.
I'm gonna go agree on that one just for fun.
All right. Cool. 9. I'd rather have a guy with significant holes in his game who can drop. What's it? 26, 25, 26
points.
That's a rather specific number.
That is pretty specific.
Points. Then a jack of all trades, master of none.
Disagree. I think we all disagree. Let's disagree and move.
Yeah. Let's keep it going. Disagree.
Cam Thomas.
Right. It's always a mistake to build around small guards, no matter how talented they are offensively. Neutral. Go neutral. Shout out to Jalen Brunson. Neutral.
Definitely, you have to. Yeah. It's gonna be harder, but I say neutral.
It can be done.
Oh, okay, that was the last one. Perfect.
So we, as a group, are the risk averse. We're risk averse evaluators. Now that's funny because that's what mine actually when I did this myself. Yours
was? Mine was the two-way thing.
I landed so my board landed two-way believer.
Yeah, that's what I had. So I had the same.
So they also charted out on an axis, X and Y axis.
Scroll down a little bit, Tanner.
Yeah,
it's like at the bottom. Yeah, right
here we are.
Oh, so we're actually not that far.
We're not that far off.
Tim's thing, interesting. And it's really not that far.
Interesting.
So we're actually between analytics and spreadsheet FC. I'm not mad at this.
There's a balance.
And we're not like that far from eye test. Like we're pretty like in the middle-ish.
For the podcasters, it's a x-axis that says eye test to analytics, and it measures you based off that. And then it also measures you on the y-axis, star upside to two-way fit and floor. You guys ended up a little bit closer to star upside, which is interesting based off how I was talking. Yeah. I ended up a little bit more towards analytics and I ended up more towards analytics than you guys. You guys ended up more towards. You guys were very much just in the middle. The more I see this,
so the risk averse
towards analytics and two-way fit. Three people giving opinions, you're probably going to go more towards the middle.
Yeah.
I think again, I'm actually fine with that. The board is,
so based off of our evaluation and scouting philosophy, so the risk averse evaluator is the one you seek out well-rounded high floor prospects who project as reliable NBA contributors at their absolute low end. And based off of how we filled out this particular survey, we took at number 9. That would be Yaxel Lindenberg out of Michigan.
Well, you said that you would draft an older guy with a high floor.
I mean,
you got it. You got to embrace this one.
Yaxel can play.
And guess what number 10 is? Our next topic on the DLS Mavs podcast. That's how we get to the break.
Steinbach.
Oh, the riser.
What a transition.
The riser.
That's right. So you can check that out if you want to fill out the survey. Let us know how you come on.
Tag us at DLS_Mavs.
Tanner, I can slack you the link and you can put it in chat if people are asking.
We will retweet
you have it?
Oh,
of course
board.
you have it. I'm dumb.
Coming up next.
Yeah,
of course you have it. Sorry.
It's time to huff some hopium as we take a look at this intriguing prospect from the University of Washington, Hannes Steinbach, and how he could potentially fit in a Mavericks uniform. All that and more coming up next.
The biggest stage in world soccer is here, and every goal changes everything. And now FanDuel is giving you a reason to root for every single one, including every goal pays. Bet on that match and get a bonus bet for every single goal scored in that match. Your boy got on his Ronaldo jersey. I'm ready today for the game. Messi, he did his thing yesterday, but we're going to do our thing today, and we're tracking that on FanDuel Predicts. But from the opening whistle to the final kick, let there be goals on FanDuel. Visit FanDuel.com to get started now. 21 and older in select states for Kansas and affiliates with Kansas Star Casino, 18 or plus in D.C., Kentucky, Wyoming. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER, 1-800-MY-RESET. Call 1-888-789-777. Visit ccpg.org/Connecticut. Visit mdgamblinghelp.org, Maryland. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org. Call 800-327-5050. Massachusetts, call 1-877-8-HOPE, New York. Text HOPE NY, New York, call 1-877-770-7867, Louisiana.
If you look good, you feel good. When you feel good, you want to show it off. That's where Brandon Bill's premium headwear and apparel comes in. Whether these snapbacks, truckers, fitteds, beanies, or tees, Brandon Bills has you covered with performance and style. If you're looking for some gear to help your brand stand apart from the crowd, Brandon Bills has you covered with the best custom headwear in the game today. And you can start your order, and their dedicated team will help you find the custom apparel that you need, know, and love. We're in the middle of the College World Series. If you're looking for your favorite team, whether it be Texas, Texas Tech, TCU, you can do so as part of the campus collection that Branded Bills has available right now. You can cheer on your favorite college football team when we get to the fall, or you can do so right now with your favorite college baseball team. So make sure you head to brandedbills.com. Use code BBDLLS15 for 15% off your first order. Again, that's code BBDLLS15 for 15% off your first order with Branded Bills premium headwear and apparel. Head to brandedbills.com and check them all out today. Welcome back to the DLLS Mavs podcast on this wonderful Wednesday afternoon. Shout out to all of you hanging out with us in the chat as well. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to DLLS Sports and do the same for our podcast wherever you get your podcasts for free. Just search DLLS Mavs, give it a 5-star rating, and write a review for it while you're there. Coming up in our next segment, Marc Stein joined by Jake Fischer of Bleacher Report to discuss all things NBA draft rumors and NBA trade rumors when it comes to the offseason of the NBA. But right now, it's time to huff some hopium here on the DLLS Mavs podcast. And with huffing hopium, you could do so with FanDuel Predicts. Sign up now for your $25 bonus on FanDuel Predicts as we take a look at a very intriguing prospect today in the form of Hannes Steinbach.
I just want to say I like the segment title. I assume we used it yesterday as well, and I just missed it.
No.
That was another FanDuel Predicts.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
Well, I like
Enjoy
it. Huffing hopium.
This
That's
was
right,
a Bobby.
It's a Bobby
creation.
special.
You didn't need to say that. I
Take it back.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah,
Take it
yeah.
back.
That's right.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at Hannes Steinbach, the terrific forward out of Washington who had a very, very good freshman year. A guy who goes 6'11", 250 from Würzburg, Germany. You say, Kevin, I've heard of that before. I've heard of Würzburg, Germany before. That's right. Dirk Nowitzki, Maxi Kleber as well, both from Würzburg, Germany. So Hannes Steinbach, you can throw his measurables back up there, Tanner. A player that measured at the combine at 6'10 and a quarter, 248 pounds with a 7'2 wingspan and a 9-foot standing reach. A big forward who played very well at Washington last year, averaged 18.5 points per game, gave you 11.8 rebounds per contest in 30 games last year. A double-double machine, Ron, and a player that when you watch on tape is a rebounding machine and someone who found the basketball finding him quite a bit as one of the best rebounders in the country last year.
Just from like doing some research, he just seems like a player, big kid, basically 250 pounds, really strong hands. He caught the ball really well. So like a little bit of shooting touch, like in the mid-range area, I think he took almost 3 threes per 100 possessions, 34%. So like he's not really like a shooter yet. Maybe you can say with some work and with the Dirk comparison, like maybe he just gets better as a shooter over his career. Sure.
He's more advanced than like a Donovan Clingan. But
Klingen's hands weren't like really good.
But as a 3-point shooter, but but he is not a stretch big.
No, not a stretch big. But at the rim, 11 rim attempts per 100 possessions. He had a good true shooting percentage. As most centers would. They're dunking a lot of the time. Stuff like that. So I think it's an interesting like offensive option. I don't know if the Mavs would be his best bet for like fit. But, like, is this a lottery prospect? Yeah. I'd probably 14 to 18 feels around. Like, if I haven't created a big board, but that's probably off the top of my head where I'd have him somewhere in that range. I think offensively, like, this is a player that's, like, pretty advanced, especially, like, with getting to the paint and catching the ball and rebounding really good. And, like, I just wouldn't be surprised maybe, like, Golden State took him at 11 or even somebody like that. I think Golden State, if Mar maybe fell, I think he'd be a little bit better fit there. But this would be an interesting fit in a Steve Kerr type of system where like he understands like concepts already from probably the Eurobasket and stuff like that.
I think the important thing to realize, to remember with him is that he is not a rim protector. He doesn't really project as a rim protector. Mm-mm. So even though he's 6'10", kind of, he's from Würzburg, you can look at his dimensions and think Maxi a little bit. He's closer to PJ Washington. You should be looking at him as a do-it-all 4, not as a 5. And quite frankly, a 4 that if he's sliding either way, you're sliding him to 3, not 5. He can move his feet a little bit. Great rebounder. He can be in the right positions. He can be big as a weak side guy. He can certainly make those rotations, meet people at the rim. But this is not your rim protector. This is not your guy who's going to deter people from the rim. You're putting him out there to move, to be in passing lanes, to be in the right positions,
a little bit of a roamer, a little bit.
Yeah. So he is absolutely, Aaron Gordon, another guy that we compare PJ Washington to. Yeah, he is a big 4, and big 4s are useful. and how much he projects as a shooter, how much you think he can be better. I don't have an answer on that, honestly. Like I said, I've done more cursory dives on these players, but that's who I see. I see him in that big four mold, and I think there's value in that. You do have a big four in Cooper,
and PJ, and probably Najee,
right? I mean, he gives
not Najee a little bit less, but certainly those two. I think
he gives bigger, more rugged Franz Wagner vibe with not as good of a jump shot.
Or most specifically, he doesn't have the handle.
Yeah.
That is what makes Franz special, is that Franz can dribble.
Yeah.
He's like a point forward vibe a little bit to him.
Doesn't quite have the shooting touch of a Lauri Markkanen, who's also a big forward. But Hans Stein, I mean, last year, the guy had 20 double-doubles in his freshman year. In fact, including a game against USC in his second to last college game during the regular season in the Big Ten, where he went for 22 points, 24 rebounds in a win against USC. This is a guy that can clean up the glass and someone who is going to be effective on the boards and is willing to do that. I think one of the things I enjoyed watching him on tape was, I mean, he can play with his back to the basket. He's got good footwork inside the lane as well. He doesn't shoot a lot of threes. In fact, only took 2 attempts per game basically last year and didn't shoot the ball great from three on what was 34% on basically 2 attempts a game. So didn't shoot a lot of threes as well. But this is a guy who's relentlessly finding himself on the glass all the time. And anyone can use that in today's NBA.
Great offensive rebounder. He had 95% of offensive rebound, percentage. I mean, he grabbed 14.3% of his offensive rebounds.
Yeah,
absolutely. That's
a Mitchell Robinson type of offensive rebounder.
His day one NBA skill is just like, arcane monster rebound. Like that's probably his day one NBA skill, which is like, I think Washington has like a funky system, and I don't think he could show the passing stuff. But one of the cut-ups I saw was him like overseas doing some stuff, and I think like that could be in his game in the future. Like he only had he's 4 or 5. He had like basically almost 2 assists a game. You're not gonna have crazy assist numbers unless you're doing like crazy DHLs anyway at that position. But that's why I think Golden State is like a interesting, like, can him and Draymond do some stuff that works? Al Horford, I think, could they do some stuff? He needs to go to a team like that that's going to prioritize like real system passing stuff.
He's a smart player.
Yeah.
You can tell he's a smart player.
An emphasis on, and I'm reading, as I'm reading and catching up, I didn't realize how good of a rebounder he is. Like one of the best freshman rebounding season in like the past 4 years.
Yeah, he was unbelievable on the glass.
That really stands out to me because we know the NBA is becoming in a lot of ways a possession game.
Mm-hmm.
If you can end more possessions, there's so much like NBA teams specifically are valuing that. It's always been valuable. I think NBA teams are catching up and really prioritizing that. Can you get more offensive rebounds? Can you get more possessions? That coats and paves over so much. I think even earlier in the season, I ran like the correlation between the 4 factors stats and effective field goal percentage and your opponent's effective field goal percentage. Yes, those were obviously the most correlated to win percentage and net rating. The third, offensive rebounding percentage.
Yeah. And
because if you can shoot more, if you can get more possessions.
He's got a Asante Aldama comp in here. He had the PG Washington comp in here.
Isaiah Hartenstein a little bit too, Not quite
Jalen Smith, TJ Leaf, Bobby Portis, Asa Noel. You get the point. Those big 4 that sometimes play small ball 5, maybe like Bobby Portis again.
And you saw how effective or how important effective offensive rebounding is. Ask the Knicks how important that is with a guy like Mitchell Robinson, who is one of the best offensive rebounders in the game, if not the best offensive rebounder in the game today. Let's just look at Hannes Steinbach, who could be a mid to late first-round pick in this year's NBA draft. Looking forward to seeing what happens next week. Coming up next, we dial up the Stein Line with our National NBA Insider Marc Stein with special guest Jake Fischer of Bleacher Report, the latest on the NBA trade rumors and what's going on with the rest of the coaching search in the rest of the NBA. All that and more coming up next.
I know you all enjoy when we open some trading cards on the show. So if you do like stuff like that, you can get notified by the latest trading card drops like Topps Chrome NFL, Chrome Basketball, and Topps Chrome Baseball, and more on the Fanatics app, everyone. And I'm assuming if you're watching this pod, you're probably a fan of Dallas sports, everybody. And you know where you can get a nice fire jersey? The Fanatics app. You get your official gear from your favorite team all on the app. You get all of the latest drops of any new shirt, any new jersey for your favorite team coming out on the Fanatics app. It's more than just shopping. You can also play free daily game snap to earn fan cash, which you can spend on jerseys, game tickets, collectibles, or more. Imagine playing a game, winning some money, and you're like, you know what? I'm going to use my rewards to cop that Cooper Flagg jersey. Seems like a win to me. But download the Fanatics app and start cashing on your fandom. Get it today at alldls.com/Fanatics. App access open to all 21 or older to play. No purchase necessary. U.S. only. Void where prohibited.
You want some extra cash in your pocket? Well, I got the solution for you, and it comes in the form of Prize Picks. Prize Picks is on and popping right now. The biggest soccer tournament in the world is happening right here in our backyard in Dallas and all across the United States, Mexico, and Canada as well. And the entire soccer tournament of the World Cup is on Prize Picks. All 48 countries and every matchup. And if you rep your side during the tournament on Prize Picks, you could win a trip to the final in New York. It's the biggest tournament ever, which means there's even more opportunities to cash in while you root for your favorite national sides and global soccer stars as well, as the tournament takes place, of course, June 11th through July 19th. Pick more or less of 2 to 6 player stats, and you could be a winner when it comes to Prize Picks. So download the app today and use code DLLS to get $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5 lineup. Again, Prize Picks, download the app and get $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, a preferred partner of the NBA.
Momentous occasion on the DLLS Mavs show, because unless I've completely forgotten it, which is possible at my age and with my declining memory, but I actually think this is accurate information. My writing partner at the Stein Line, Bleacher Report's own Jake Fischer, is joining us for what I believe to be the first time in show history. He is the draft expert at the Stein Line. Basically carries me on the draft because you guys know I know nothing about the draft. That's what Jake's for. And he's going to help. He's joining us to help illuminate where we are. We're actually recording this on Tuesday. I know this is Wednesday's show. If everything went right, I am en route to the England-Croatia game, the only game I am likely to attend in person at this World Cup. So hopefully that is going to plan. But as Jake and I are talking, we are 1 week away from the draft. Welcome, young man, to the show. Our audience is going to love hearing from you on the draft. How far down the board are you ready? Like, how far down the board are you sure of the order 1 week out?
I think most people in the league aren't very sure after 4. I think I have a good handle on the levers that can be pulled and the trickle-down effect and all that type of stuff of like up to 8, let's say. I think your Dallas Mavericks at number 9 are a very interesting beginning pivot point of the draft, because we've got this consensus top 4, just to kind of dive right into it, of course, AJ Dembonsa, Darren Peterson, Cam Boozer, Caleb Wilson in some order. Then you've got the Clippers at 5, the Nets at 6, the Kings at 7, and the Hawks at 8, who are all, according to various league figures with knowledge of those teams, they're all very comfortable staying at those slots, and they are all working through and working out Keaton Wagler, Mikhail Brown Jr., Darius Acuff Jr., and then Kingston Flemings. And I do think right now there's a very good chance that those 4 guards go in some order 5 through 8. And in that case, as of this juncture, a week out, that would mean that we've got the first 8 names off the board. We just don't exactly know the sequencing yet.
So if all those guards are off the board, I think you've already sparked concern among our audience. Although I guess that Braden Burries, in every time we've done, we were doing tankathon spins after every Mavs loss, and then when the season ended, every day, Braden Burries ended up going to the Mavs in many more mocks than not that we conducted. Is that the safe expectation at 9 if it plays out the way you're suggesting?
There's definitely been plenty of Burry's Dallas smoke out there, and seems like that's a spot that his representation at Clutch Sports would like. And that's not so shocking to me, considering that, Rich Paul has been a guy in the past who's wanted to make sure he gets one of his guards next to Victor Wembanyama and stuff like that. He definitely likes to think about the overall general context of where their players go. I remember Clutch a couple of years ago pinpointed basically Rob Dillingham to Minnesota to be the point guard of the future next to Anthony Edwards. It didn't work out, but come on, Mall watch last year. There was that clip of Rich in the car going to the draft, talking on the phone with Matt Ishbia, saying we got to get Kamal Malawatch to 10, and they made that happen. So I don't think that this is something to be discounted, their interest in going to Dallas. So we got more calls to make on it to figure out the rest of the way here, but I do think that is a likely scenario at this point. Not the most likely, but a likely, yeah.
You got everyone in Dallas's attention last week when you reported that the Mavs are looking to move up or very open to move down. What more can you share about that? What more have you learned since you wrote that?
Well, as I said earlier, I don't think at this juncture any team above Dallas is open to trading down as of now. That could change.
Not even the Clips. I mean, I kind of felt like the Clippers were maybe in that position.
I thought so too, but all the latest conversations I've had continue to suggest that the Clippers are very happy to stick around there, and they're going to know, and the Clippers essentially know who's going to be on the board, and they're just figuring out which guy they're going to take, essentially. So the good news for Mavs fans, if you are someone who is looking at this team, and I guess also I forgot to land this point on the last land this plane on the last point. I think part of the Brendan Burry's interest, there's going to be a lot of players and a lot of agents who want their player to be next to Cooper Flagg. That's another aspect of that. But because Dallas is in this kind of pseudo rebuild stage where they do want to be better next year by all accounts, and there's no real benefit to being bad anymore due to the lottery reform overall, but also, as your listeners are very attuned to, the Mavs don't control their pick next year anyway. I think there is benefit for the Mavericks to potentially be this first trade down spot, get either, hypothetically, is it with OKC and they get the 17th pick in the process? Do they get another veteran impact player? Do they get off of a player? A couple years ago, the Mavs were looking at draft trades that would have moved them down and got off of Tim Hardaway Jr., right? Like, do they do something like that sends out a Daniel Gafford or a PJ Washington or a Klay Thompson in the process? I think it's too early to handicap exactly what to expect, but I think the Mavericks right now standing out as the one team that is very clearly open to trading down in the top 10, that puts them in a good position where you've got teams below them like Memphis as well at number 16, where the Grizzlies have been very historically opportunistic in trading up. They just did that in a very similar range last year. I think it was from 16 exactly, jumping up to 11 with Portland in that Hansen Yang, Cedric Howard trade. So I do think there's a lot of opportunity for Dallas and this new front office with Musai and Mike Schmitz to potentially move down a few slots and get some extra draft capital, another impact player, and improve this team around Cooper Flagg a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think this new front office is going to be consulting me for my opinion, but I'm kind of rooting for that because I would love to see the Mavs trade down, and then in that hypothetical OKC scenario, they get 12 and 17, and then maybe they use one of those picks to draft Hannes Steinbach, which would just be absolutely amazing if the third player from Little Würzburg, Germany, ends up a Mav like Nowitzki and Maxi Kleber before him. But so I guess what it sounds like is if Brown and Wagler and Flemings and whom I leave it out, who's the other guard in there? and Acuff. If they're all off the board, the choice for the Mavs is essentially going to be: do you take Braden Burries at 9 or do you trade down? It sounds like that's where it's trending.
I don't know that, to be clear. Like, they could really love Nate Ament from Tennessee for all I know. That's just me pulling another name. They could decide we really want size, and Ade Mara is going to be our center of the future. We're going to pair because we can't really trust Derek Lively's health. Well, I don't know. I'm just spitballing right now.
And isn't Mara also, like, it wouldn't be the biggest shock in the world, right, if Mara went 8? Would it? I mean, if he sneaks into the top 8 somehow?
Yeah. So Atlanta is definitely another big pivot point on this board, because while I said those 4 guards could just go in some order 5 through 8, the Hawks definitely would like to improve at center. They want to add to their front court rotation beyond Onyeka Okongwu. Could that be Ade Mara at 8? People seem to think that is where his range begins. But I still think that Atlanta is as focused on the guards as they are bigs. I do. I think they know from this playoff run that they need extra downhill ball handling creativity outside of Jalen Johnson. And as much as CJ McCollum is someone that I believe they want to bring back, he is not at 34 years old or 35, or however old CJ actually is. He is not on the timeline of 23-year-old Jalen Johnson by any stretch. So I think they would love to find, as Dyson Daniels rounds into their kind of like 2-guard defensive pest, they want another primary ball handler type guy to get in there. And I think this is a really good opportunity for them to get that.
You're so much more of a draft aficionado than me, although I think I'm actually doing a pretty decent job faking it with these questions. Like I and it's credit to you. Like I'm more prepared than a week away from the draft. I'm more prepared than I normally would have been because you're writing about it so much, and I'm learning. But are you? It's excitement for this lottery just seems to be really, really high. Like that somehow at 9, or even if they trade down, the Mavs are getting an infusion of quality next week.
For sure. And I think that's why I feel pretty confident right now that teams 5 through 8 don't want to trade down. I think even Brooklyn at 6, that was, Joe Tsai, when I was in the back drawing room in Chicago, was devastated that Brooklyn fell out of the top 4, right? Like, all these teams are still Atlanta at 8. They're all still saying, this is such a loaded draft. Like, we're going to get a really good player here. Like, as much as the Kings have been connected to Darius Acuff because Scott Perry coached his father at Eastern Kentucky 30 years ago, the Kings don't have any incentive to trade up from 7 to 5 to make sure that they get him, because if they don't get him, there's someone else that they're going to be really happy about getting, because people look at this draft as having, especially to bring us back to Dallas, there's the top 4, and then there's basically like another 7-player tier after that gets you all the way to 11. It's those 4 guards, and then you've got Mara, you've got Burries, you've got Ament, Yaxel Landenberg is in there. He's more obviously a plug and play unfinished product than those other guys, but that's a 12, 13 player class that everyone is super, super excited about.
What do you think about number 30? Because as it stands, that's the only guaranteed first the Mavs are getting out of the Anthony Davis trade. The other first in that trade from Golden State could actually convert to seconds in the future. So number 30 in this draft might be the only first that the Mavs come away with, not just for Anthony Davis, but in essence for Luka Doncic. I can't even bear to say it out loud. But number 30, how does it look a week out to you? What with all those NIL dollars, is there going to be a good player at 30?
So that's that. The last thing you said is the most important piece of all this. The way the NIL worked and is working, essentially players 25 through 50 all got cut out of this draft and went back to college. But that 20 to 40 range, even 20 to 60, everyone's got a little bit of a different board. So someone that Dallas has at 22 could be there at 30. And that's going to be the hope that the way things all shake out, that a couple players are going to go a little bit earlier. If you're a team picking at the end, if you're the Minnesota, not Minnesota's looking to trade that pick. So if you're Philadelphia at 22, right? Like you're hoping that there's a guy there that you probably would have taken at 15, but because beauty's in the eye of the beholder, there's someone there that you could really get value in. So at 30, I think, it's going to be very dependent, of course, on how that board shakes out. I do know in the backstop of that, since now 30 is the end of the first night and not the end of the first round, there will be, I think, some interesting trade conversation for Dallas there as well. Because as of now, too, New York, the reigning champion New York Knicks, they've got the 24th pick, and then they have the 31st pick at the top of the draft. And ideally, if we can get this story out tonight as we're recording this, it'll be online before it airs on Wednesday. I have written and filed to you that
let's hope
the Knicks have already signaled to teams that they're looking to trade one of those two picks. So if they do take someone at 24, the Mavs will know that 31 is up for sale, and that should also present some trade conversations there.
I mean, everyone knows Mike Schmitz, the Mavs' new GM. His background is draft evaluation. That is how he made his way to the NBA. So do you subscribe to the theory that I've heard that the Mavs want to make as many picks as they can, because that's obviously what he was born to do in a sense?
Yeah, and I think there's also a lot of intrigue with that in trading down and getting back more picks, more bites at the apple, more future assets, or more picks in this year's draft too. So that optionality in conjunction with quantity, I think, is going to be very important, especially for a young team that really doesn't have a fix. I was as big a Derek Lively fan as there was during the 2024 finals. That feels like a lifetime ago, of course, for so many reasons for Mavs fans, but for Derek Lively too. I think there really is only Cooper Flagg as part of the furniture of this Mavericks organization right now as a roster standpoint. So as many bites at the apple as you can take, as many darts as you can throw at the dartboard to hopefully find a Ryan Nembhard type diamond in the rough, but with higher upside. I think that's definitely going to be a reigning sentiment in Mavericks land.
All right, I got to let you go. We got to wrap this segment up, but one last quick thing. Obviously, I think our audience is also very, very curious about the Mavericks coaching search, but it really does. I mean, Portland there were the last three openings were Portland, Chicago, and Dallas. The Blazers seemed like the furthest along, and then they put their search on pause basically because Tom Dundon, who owns the Carolina Hurricanes as well, and of course is the Blazers' new owner, he wanted to focus on the Stanley Cup final, and the Hurricanes ended up winning the Stanley Cup. The Bulls, of course, at the start of this week, named Thiago Splitter as their new coach, and now it's down to Portland and Dallas.
Yeah, I think the Mavericks, people want that job more so than they want the Portland job, which is something that I think Mavs fans would be happy to hear. I think as much as the Blazers roster is further down the road, the uncertainty about what Dundon's stewardship will ultimately mean for that franchise from a cost standpoint to they've been trying to get into this Giannis trade sweepstakes, even though from my understanding they've been told pretty directly that Giannis doesn't want to stick around there long term. So that gets my brain going. Like what potential secondary move does Portland try to do if they can't get Giannis? That's just it's a funky situation compared to if you're going to Dallas, you're going with a long runway to coach Cooper Flagg. I think that's an incredibly attractive opportunity for someone like a Mike Inori, who is basically left standing as probably the most qualified, highest regarded assistant in the NBA who's yet to be a head coach. I think if you injected truth serum into someone like him, he would pick the Mavericks job over the Trailblazers job.
Mr. Fischer, thank you so much for joining us. Wishing you continued success as we try to make it through the next 2-3 weeks of absolute chaos. That's why that story hasn't been edited yet as we recorded this, because that there is no let up to the chaos. And I'm old.
Appreciate you having me. good luck back to you, and let's tag team this thing to the finish line.
There he goes, everyone. Jake Fischer, guys, throwing it back to you.
Appreciate you, Mark. Shout out to Jake Fischer for joining us here on the DLLS Mavs podcast. We should become a diehard member, alldls.com. We have a chance to do that. Or
we have Jalen Brunson in the chat.
What?
Yeah, he's come. He's here. He went from Good Morning America to DLS Mavs podcast. I respect that, man.
Well, thank you for gracing us in the middle of your championship parade. As the championship parade is taking place right now. But yes, you can become a diehard member, alldls.com, or scan the QR code that you see on your screen right there as we finish up on our show today. Any reaction to what Jake Fischer had to say on today's episode? Anything that stuck out to you?
I thought it was very smart
Jake,
and illuminating.
Yes,
I feel more intelligent.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, he talked a little bit about Burries, a little bit about Mara. He just kind of gave like the different scenarios that the Mavs could possibly go through, which are things, that we've talked about on this show a bunch. Like, if it's Burries and maybe Mara, like, the Mavs, like, you know what? I didn't draft Derek Lively. I didn't sign Daniel Gafford. Like, do I get the center of the future with Cooper Flagg? Like, maybe they go that route. Like, it just depends what they're thinking that way.
If all those guards, because one of the things that kind of stuck out to me is he started to bring up the idea that if all four of those guards, we're talking about Flemings, we're talking about Michael Brown, we're talking about Wagler, and
Ament.
And A-Cup.
Or sorry, A-Cup.
Yeah,
sorry. I said the wrong A last name. Yeah.
If all four of them are gone by the time we get to 9, now you're left with Burries, Nate Ament, Adai Mara. What are you doing in that situation?
You're trading down. If there is a deal on the table, you're trading down.
No matter what, you're trading down in that scenario. You don't want to take Burries there at 9?
I don't have a firm opinion on Burries yet.
Okay.
I agree that the four guards you named are the ones that I'm looking at. And if they're off the table, then absolutely that is a situation where you look to trade down.
Trading down. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it just depends on how high they are on Burries. I would take that. I think I would take Burries at 9. But, like, again, if you could trade down and get, like, another pick, I'd rather have 2 picks than probably Burries. Because Burries is not, like, I don't, like, if it was Michael Brown, I would just take Michael Brown. If it was Wagler, I would take Wagler.
Yes, and yes.
Burries, I would take and feel, again, what I said was I would give it a B. Like, that's a B draft select, which is kind of good. I mean, we're looking for like doubles, maybe even a triple. Like, you don't know what you're gonna get. It's the draft, right? Michael Brown to me would be like an A. So, like, I wouldn't turn away from like an A for me personally, like my personal board. And again, if we talk about the OKC thing, if it's like 12 and 17, or if it's if it's just something, I think the Hawks have 8 and 23. If you give them like a player, PJ Washington, or I don't know who they would want from this team, but if they do want Najee Marshall to run some stuff for them from their bench unit, and they're like, you know what, we'll give you 23 and we can move up 1 spot. Like, if it's something like that, like, sure. Like, it just depends what the thing is. But I don't think they're going to be able to move down. But anything can happen on draft night.
Okay. This is just, I want folks who are listening to this show or watching right now, this is just, we're walking down a scenario here, okay? And I'm using what actual words have been said by people who we've heard from, Masai Ujiri, Mike Smits, and everyone else, okay? So Masai Ujiri has said, look, we're making future-based decisions here. We've heard reported that the veterans that could be potentially moved are P.J. Washington, Klay Thompson, Daniel Gafford. Talking about some of your front court, particularly, obviously, with P.J. Washington. Cooper Flagg's 19 years old, okay? He's got a long runway for a long time. If you're making future-based decisions, and let's say you get wiped out with those guards there and you don't feel good about Burries, you want to take them there at 9, I could squint my eyes to get there. And now, I wouldn't personally do this myself, but I could squint my eyes and get there and see it if they looked at Knoxville, Tennessee, and they saw a 6'10 forward at 19 years old who may not necessarily you feel good about personally. I could see the Mavericks squinting their eyes and be like, you know what? We could pair a 6'10 forward who's 19 with another one that's 6'10 and 19. And if we're not going to be as good as what we think we might be,
okay,
maybe they take Nate the Great there at number 9. I personally would not do this.
You know what, Tanner? I actually believe Kevin Gray wants that to happen.
No,
Tanner, what do you think? I want to know what Tanner thinks because I feel like Kevin Gray wants the drama.
I'm gonna cut that for social and take out like the parts where he says that. So you're
gonna take all the contextual parts out.
This is what I want.
I can squint my eyes to see them getting there. I would not do it myself, but I could see it happen. Especially, look, man, the West is going to be tough next year. I don't think the Mavericks will be a top 6 team.
No.
I could see them an 8 to 10 team, maybe. But
maybe.
If you're slow,
healthy,
healthy. But if you're slow playing and saying, hey, these decisions are going to be future based, you could let Nate the Great come along slowly, if especially going to move off of the front court. I'm just saying, I can squint my eyes to see it happening. Yeah, my gut feeling, since you put it out there, my gut feeling is they do take Nate Ament at number 9.
It's also possible you get to 9 in the scenario, and even though you've been on,
I get our King. I feel you. I feel you.
Emoji.
I feel you.
Is that for the take or is that for Nate?
Right.
Either or.
Well, you know how folks in the chat feel about it. They don't want no parts.
The
of
bird,
Nate
no words.
They want no parts of it. I could squint my eyes and see it getting there. I could see it. I wouldn't do it. I would take Burries at 9.
Just stops.
Let me be clear. I would take Burries at 9 if he's there. To be clear.
Yeah, I don't feel I have a definite take yet whether I would do Burries or take a trade down if it's available.
Mm-hmm.
Also, it requires a trade down being available. That is part of this.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, most people, from what I've seen, a lot of people are suggesting Morrow would be the guy traded up for. And if that's the case, then if the guards go, then there will be people interested.
Yeah,
but what if somebody trades up for Flemings? I don't know. So
David Collins, you're a legend, bro.
This is all the same level as the
You're
John
a legend,
take?
bro.
Our Kings Rocks actually had the take I most agreed with, which is it's trade down if the guards go, if the 3 core ones go.
Yeah, I think Bobby's like huge Burries guy. So like Bobby would be.
He would be upset if
they traded away from Burries and they couldn't get him. Like Bobby legit likes Burries over like majority of the guards. Like
okay,
I think it's the same. Like Wagler to me would be like that'd be really dope if maybe like Wagler's not fast. Let's make him fall like how Tyrese Halliburton fell.
I'm torn on him. Yeah.
Because he has some stuff where I can see him fall. Just like, again, Tyrese Halliburton fell. I was very upset when my Washington Wizards did not take him back then. They did take Denny, obvious. So, I mean, I guess it.
And
I
look,
think Tyrese better than Denny, but I
guess it worked out someone to the point said I would be chanting to fire Messiah Smith if they take Nate.
Bro, chanting to fire him before you know if he can play?
Okay, so and the other point where I can squint my eyes and seeing it, what have we talked about with Messiah during the archetypes that he's had in the past? Scotty Barnes.
Long guys.
Pascal Siakam. He likes long, tall, athletic wings.
Are you about to say Yaxel?
What? Huh?
Yaxel?
But he's 24. Yeah, by the time you get to Cooper's prime and the time you're competing, he'll be 28, going on 29 years old.
Oh, so who are you going to say?
He's talking about Nate's, though, right?
Yeah, I'm still talking about Nate. I'm saying, like,
Nate's like, what, 6'10"?
Yeah.
I thought you were setting up another player.
No. I'm saying, like, the archetypes that, we've seen Masai Ujiri take in the past are long, tall, athletic. I mean,
I said Bobby liked Burry. Somebody said, "Well, Bobby also really liked Omax."
Now that Omax is not on the team, and I'm just gonna, we kind of hyped that up a little bit more than it was true. Bobby wanted Omax. I think Bobby was more excited they traded back into the draft than he was about Omax. But it was a really fun meme, and we just committed to it. No, like this is what happened.
It'd be like if they took Nate and like picked 30, I'd be ecstatic. It'd be like
yeah, for sure.
It depends like where you draft players. Like if it's Nate at 30. A+, like that's the perfect range to take a pick. It's like that. It's just at 9, I would not go there. It's like Alan Graves, we said we like.
And also,
I see how his archetype is kind of like in the Masai mold. The problem is that like my preferred archetype is like good at basketball.
Yes,
and
he's not there yet. Right, no, respectfully, he's not there. But here's the thing,
he's not there. For folks, I'm not talking about us here. I'm saying for folks who are on the idea of in Masai we trust, in Mike Stitz we trust. You can't be in Masai we trust and in Mike we trust, and then they take their aim and be like, oh no, they don't know what the hell they're doing.
Yeah.
If you trust Masai and Mike Smith to know what they're doing, and they take Nate Amen at there at 9, you got to be all on board with it. If you are in the camp of we trust Masai and Mike Smith because we believe we know what the hell they're doing. I'm just saying you can't You can't have it both ways. You're going to have it one way that you don't like him, or you have it one way that you trust Masai and Mike Smith and know what they're doing. So that's all I'm saying. So whomever it's going to be at 9, or if they trade down, if you're in the trust Masai and Mike Smith's camp, well, you better just trust them then, because that's what they was brought here to do. Especially Mike Smith's, whom's
supposed to be his bag.
That's supposed to be his bag. So if he look at Nate Ament and say, that's who my guy is, well, that's what he's here for. So I don't know, man. This could be, in the words of Tanner, I'm ready for the draft to be over with, damn it. I'm ready. Boys, you ready to go?
Good show. Good show, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate all of y'all hanging out with us in the chat here today. We'll be back tomorrow. Marc Stein will be back with us in studio tomorrow. So we say goodbye to Tim Cato, who's filled in substitute.
I worry my muscle memory is just going to carry me here at 11:30 a.m. Like I feel like I'm back on real DLLS cadence. So,
that's right.
I will be at the live show. I'll see you guys next week.
Yes, you will see us. Yes, next week when we have our live draft show at the Pub McKinney on June 23rd.
Pub McKinney.
That's right. Shout out to our guy Tanner, made us look good and sound good as always. Thank you, sir. So our All-City National NBA reporter, Tim Cato. That's our DLS Mavs beat writer and Ronaldo super fan, Ron Harrod Jr. I'm your man, Kevin Gray. We are DLS Mavs. We'll talk to you tomorrow at 12 p.m. Y'all be good. Peace.
We all silly like the mayor.